following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of the Hallmark of Greatness podcast, a podcast dedicated to highlighting the beauty of all the Hallmark, Lifetime, straight-to-TV movies that don't get the admiration they fully deserve. I'm Anthony Burke, and with me as always are two-thirds of Hanson. He's sat waiting on a beach for a couple to turn up for their wedding. It's Joe Higgins.
Oh God, I hope I'm not the bad two-thirds of Hanson.
Yeah. And he's under fire for selling NFTs, but they were actually FTs. It's Craig Lowe.
Listen, I can draw a monkey looking nonchalant with the best of them.
All the tokens were fungible.
He made a real monkey.
I don't know. Again, we're not the people to talk about that because I don't. It basically seems like money laundering to me.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
If you'd like to keep up to date with all things Hallmark of Greatness, you can follow the show on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, Instagram at Hallmark of Greatness. If you'd like to get in touch with any recommendations or thoughts or anything you think we may have missed, you can email the show at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook. Joe's got a Twitch channel which he uses.
Oh, I'm allowed now, am I?
Hi, guys.
Hi,
right?
Anthony.
Are you tired?
Very tired.
Staying up for your soft boys rugby?
Yeah, there was a football match last night, and I don't know played, and I don't know who won either.
I think the Broncos won.
Oh, no.
Were they playing?
No.
That's why it's going to be difficult to win if you're not playing then, isn't it?
Very much so.
Was it the Rams?
The Rams won.
There we go. I knew it was an animal of some. There again, saying that. Yeah,
Majority of them are.
yeah, I was going to. Well, you've got teams named after
two-thirds.
socks, but that's baseball, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, 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 very tired.
I don't know why. You've done that all day. You've not been in work.
Yes, but I've been out.
Doing what?
We were working. We're no one else there. I'm sure
I've been
Budge
up
was
the same
working.
amount of time
All
as
right,
you.
Budge.
We haven't.
Yes, I have. I stayed up to watch it as well.
That's a lie.
I wouldn't waste my time. But in a delightful segue from the Superb Owl yesterday, we've decided to pick this week's film. Anthony?
Love on the Sidelines.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, this had much more American football than I actually expected it to do. Somebody threw a ball at one point, and I was just flabbergasted.
And actually looked reasonable doing it. Normally with these kind of sports films, they clearly hired an actor who's never kicked a ball or thrown anything in their life.
Yeah,
It's
is it not the sort of thing with these sort of tier of actors where they were probably like college football people who just weren't good enough? Like
very possibly.
Love on the Sidelines. After losing her job at a leading interior design company, Mary Sides has to take a job teaching Pee-wee football despite both her parents dying in an unusual field goal mishap some years earlier. Here she butts heads with Kenny Lines, the head of the PTA and father of star quarterback Bunty Clovenhoof. Will they learn to get on and go to regionals? Will Mary's parents be avenged? And did I have to look up American sports terms? Yes.
I'm sorry. Are they going to, did you say they're going to regionals?
Yeah,
They're always going to regionals.
Is this a musical?
He was watching Glee.
They're always obsessed with music or regionals or quarterfinals or something. I don't fucking know.
Beautiful.
I miss the old characters. Where's Helen and Chip?
I've got to mix it up, mate. New year, new characters. Also, Bunty Clovenhoof. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Love on the Sidelines. An unlucky woman who aspires to be a fashion designer falls into a job as personal assistant to injured superstar quarterback Danny, though she knows nothing about football.
Yep, that's the film.
That's
film.
it in a nutshell.
Just.
I'm going to say it was all right, this. It annoyed me for like 45 minutes, and then I was like, okay, fair enough.
2/3 annoying, final third, I was like, this is actually quite pleasant now, and these characters have turned into likable people.
Much like Hanson.
Yes.
Much
like Hanson.
2/3 of Hanson, bad.
That's what you said.
1/3 of Hanson,
That's what Craig said.
probably still bad, but hides it better.
Yeah, with them good looks.
Let's get into it. I mean, standard intros, music, credits. Was it tracking shots of fields? Probably. And we're introduced to Laurel, which is a terrible name because it sounds
Hardy's friend.
Well, it's neither Laura. It just sounds weird. It sounds like Laurel, like
I mean, all the names of the characters in this film sound like they were written by a 6-year-old man because there's not an American football player called Ron in the world anymore.
Well, I've got a fun quiz about that later.
Oh yeah.
Who is sat in a bar watching with her friend Patty They've come in and just ransacked the buffet, apparently.
Yeah, they're skinned, haven't they said? They've got no money.
So they've gone to a bar to just eat. Yeah, I mean, more fool us. I mean, if that was the case, I'd be eating out once a week at this place.
Once a week? Every night, mate.
Every night, yeah.
I think they'd get suspicious if you're coming in not ordering drinks and just getting your big plate.
Just bring your own plate.
Yeah, getting your big Alan Partridge plate out there. But yeah, she's saying that she's applied to all these fashion houses.
She did an art and design degree or something like that.
Something like that.
She's struggling to get a job, so she's
spoke her nest egg away, so she's having to get a
job, a real job in the real world.
I'll have to take the first job that I can get, which is, we've all been there. Some of us are still there. But we're introduced to Patty and Patty's husband, who I don't think was given a name, who it's a sports
fan. Sports fan 62.
Sports.
And it's full of men in American football tops cheering and high-fiving because I don't know. I don't understand it.
They didn't have the license for any NFL team.
No, that's why they're called the Miners.
Miners, yeah.
Which is generic enough to be believable.
And quite later on, I think she mentions the words Major League Football Team, which is just combining Major League Baseball and National Football Team.
Again, do you want to get sued?
No. It just tickles me when that kind of thing happens.
But she meets... she's trying to get a roommate, and
her best friend's moving out because she's getting married to Sportsman 62.
Yeah, Patty's moving out,
and so she needs a new flatmate. And in walks new best friend, who just happens to be a personal assistant. And
Gina.
I didn't realize quite how easy it was to get into the personal assistant racket. But apparently, it's just a case of walking into an office going, "I can do it." And it's
Everyone needs
right.
one.
Here's a famous person.
Yeah. So Gina's like, "Well, you can do this. Come and sign up for my agency." So she goes in, and she's like, "Yeah, I can do this." And the woman's like, I think fair enough. It's like that's the best interview.
But the person who wrote it, I reckon, when they wrote this opening sequence, must have been in Europe, because the star quarterback, who's named early on as Danny Holland, and I think the agency's Amsterdam agency.
It's the Amsterdam agency,
yeah.
They were in and around Holland at this point.
They were like, somebody really want to go to Holland. If I manifest it enough in the script, it'll come true. Oh, at the all-you-can-eat buffet place, we find out that Danny Holland, star quarterback of the Miners team, has hurt his foot.
He's got a sprained ankle. He's fine.
He's got a sprained ankle,
and he's out for 6 weeks. 6 whole weeks.
Yeah, no. I mean that's now, is it? Because isn't there only like each team only plays each other once or something?
There's 17 games in a season.
See, so he'd be fine.
You can have people out for entire seasons and still bounce back the next year.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks, it's not even worth writing home about.
It's a sprained ankle. You've not got out for 6 weeks for that.
He's a quarterback, doesn't he? Just throw the ball.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, like I learned the other day when you told me that there's a man whose job it is to just kick the ball. That's his job. He's just kicking, and he gets paid big money for that. Laces out. Yeah, madness.
No true.
So she goes in for this interview, and the woman's like, "Oh, well, there is someone who needs an assistant because Danny's fucked off his current assistant."
His current assistant was a bit odd. He kept
texting when he should have been.
This is going to be bad news for you. You're going to be shit, mate. That's what he was doing. It's like, you want this job?
Yeah. You're supposed to big me up, Charlie. You're supposed to be my hype man, my Flavor Flav.
Not really. He's a personal assistant. He don't
my joke C.
This first 10 minutes felt like it was written on the bus on the way to.
It was like, we need a way of getting.
I've not got an intro to get these characters together.
Getting them into the same room. Yeah.
Point to a map. We'll name it all after that.
Hello. And so she's like, "Oh, well, there is this guy, Danny Holland, football playing man, but he only ever employs men." And she's like, "Well, I don't give a shit, to be honest."
See, at this point, I was excited. I was like, "Are we going to get a she's the man situation where she cuts her hair short and
we've already
fake stash on?
Done that with the fashion one, remember?
I could do with it again, though. It's such a rarity.
No. So Danny's just like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll take an assistant." She shows up and he's like, "No, you've got tits. This isn't going to work out, I'm afraid."
And she sees to put through the trials of Hercules.
Yeah, and because he's like, "Oh, I don't want to have to like watch my language around you or whatever." And I'm like, if I'm in your employ, I don't really care.
Shits,
yeah. You want to burp in front of me? You want to walk around with your cock out, mate? I'm not that bothered.
Just keep going, because there's a sexual harassment suit just around the corner for me, and I'm set for life, mate.
Well, no, because would you take a picture of him with no makeup on and sell it to TMZ? No, because that's against the rules of something.
Because TMZ wouldn't buy it.
I don't know. That's what she said, but yeah. And so he's he's like, okay, well, we'll put you on like a 6-week trial until I'm back healthy again, because I can't be arsed getting another personal assistant. As this Amsterdam assistance agency, or AAA,
they're fresh out of.
They've only got 2 people on the books, and you've just sacked one. So he's like, oh, take my dog for a walk, and she's like, oh, I love dogs. And then this big, is it Great Dane sort of dog?
Looks like that kind of.
Comes out, and he's like, ha 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 ha, and then she's just like, yeah, all right, takes the dog for a walk.
But no, this dog sprints over to her, knocks her to the ground.
Yep, that's dangerous.
That's a lawsuit.
Dangerous workplace, yeah. He's Danny Holland, mate. He can do what he wants. Well, star quarterback of the Miners. He's got all that pulling power. She takes the dog for a walk. She comes back. The dog behaves like she's done a Mick Dundee on it or something. And he's like, oh, okay, well done with that.
You passed this test. You've got 10 more trials.
It is. It's you have to like organise my calendar, do all this, and like basically what a personal assistant's job is.
Yeah. So that's my assumption of a person's. Never had one, sadly, but
I think that's what my wife's job is, but I don't know.
Tells you where to be when you
and like organises meetings and shit. She doesn't drive people around because that's mental.
Essentially does the nitty-gritty of your life.
Yeah, calendar adjuster.
Yeah.
But
she's quite decent.
So she's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. She comes back the next day and he's like, I'm not sure about this. Like,
you've still got breasts. I'm still not happy.
What are you squinting at?
Can I tell you about my book?
The box is in your background, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Massive box, I was nice.
Yeah, it had a desk in it. Yeah.
Oh, new desk. Okay, give me that.
So he gives her a phone and he's like, we have to go and do all this stupid shit. He's got to go to training.
Yeah, even though his foot's
They make him watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what good
that doesn't happen.
Watch your mates have
fun. He'd be doing like rehab stuff and.
Yeah, I thought he'd be in like a flotation tank, like in a Bacta tank.
No. Ice it 4 times a day, you're sorted. I mean, it's barely an injury. I'm sure they just want him off team at this point.
It sounds like the amount of time people play with various sprains.
Non-union Captain America looking bastard.
If this was the NFL, he'd be whacked up with all sorts of injections.
Oh yeah, it'd be an injection
out on the field.
If he was that important to the team doing well, they would have injected him numerous times.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? When the replacement guy's doing it, he comes in and says, "Oh, that was good, too good." So he's trying to rush his rehab of putting ice on his ankle.
Isn't he out of contract as well?
I must have missed that part because
is that? No,
I thought they mentioned early on that the reason why they got rid of that first assistant was because he said a lot of teams are shying away from him. Or he's surprised not more teams are shying away, something like that. Like he's in out of contract.
That feels like it would need more knowledge of football other than the words fumble and touchdown.
Oh yeah, and there's loads of that all the way through it, fumbling and touchdown and.
Hey rookie, you fumbled today, so what makes you think you'll get a touchdown tomorrow? And I'm like, please stop.
Do you talk like that normally? It's like other people because
this
it would be infuriating.
Isn't a hidden camera audition for like sportscaster job after your ankle's done.
Speaking of knowledge of NFL,
yes,
have we met his dad yet?
Yes, he's the one that comes around and says, "Oh, put ice on it."
Non-character dad.
Yes,
we've seen him twice.
I was looking up the cast and I recognise the name, and it's Joe Theismann.
It's Joe Theismann, yeah,
who is an American football man,
star of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Is he?
When Jake Kinney are doing a antiquities, but it's antiques. And the episode Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah, he breaks Joe Theismann's leg.
He breaks his leg because Joe Theismann is very famous for having a horrific leg break injury.
Ooh, I don't want to look at that.
Absolutely horrific.
Don't want to look at that.
No, but that's right.
That. And anyway, yes, we met him, and then like he's out giving a book to some daft kids or something.
Yeah, he's wrote a book how to do football good for daft kids.
So she's in the house, 2 random women show up, and she's like, "Can I see some ID?" And they're like, "No, we're his mum and sister." And she's like, "Sweet, that's evidence enough for me."
I liked it when the tight end turned up.
Again,
but his teammate, and he introduced himself as she said, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm the star tight end." Nobody says that.
I do. I go, I'm best letter opener. Yeah. It's just fucking, you don't. Whoever he was, Sean, I believe he was called. Yeah. They come round. They're like, "Oh, he's dating this model, but he doesn't show it. Let us meet his girlfriends and stuff. He's been quite distant and stuff recently. I've made him this massive pan of chili." I was like, "Sweet. I wish someone would."
I'll do my ankle in.
And they're getting like a gym put in the front room for him to rehab.
Gym, exercise bike, and that's
it. He would already have.
I would have thought if he was, he'd have it.
Superstar would have his own home gym.
To be fair, he would have a mansion, not generic Hallmark house number 6.
He had 3 rooms in that house. Yeah, he'd have a gym.
I don't think they'd let him do this kind of stuff on his own. They have hired.
No,
the team would have hired.
Ron comes to visit him and supervises.
Yeah, Ron supervises. Bike. Yeah, Ron supervises once, and then he does a sneak and gets back on the bike again later in the film.
Yeah. So she's ingratiated herself in the family now anyway, because Dad likes her and the mum and the sister like her because she's
not a supermodel.
Yeah,
she's a supermodel but doesn't act like a supermodel. She acts like a clothes designer.
She has to go to a fashion shoot thing with Danny and his girlfriend. Is it Hunter?
Hunters sounds about right, yeah.
Which, I always think is a boy's name, but...
Or a gladiator.
Or a gladiator, which is a boy as well. Mm-hmm. And he's like, get me this shirt and do this. And she gets it all wrong because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Almost she's had no training for this job and just walked into an office and said, I can do this. And he went, okay.
She didn't even say she could do it. They was like, no. Yeah, you're in.
Her body's in it. Bums on seats. But it turns out that her friend Gina is Hunter's personal assistant and gives her like this top secret book of how to do your job properly, which I find strange that you would write your own book for yourself.
Yes, and who else are you giving this to? I mean, you act as if it's like, I never even thought of giving you this, but ta-da!
What you don't realise is Gina moves from apartment to apartment, helping out. She's like a fairy godmother.
Ah, right.
I don't reckon she does. I reckon she moves from apartment to apartment, trapping women in personal assisting into a life they can never leave.
She gets a bit of cash back. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like Taken, but
finder's fee,
but with more filofaxes.
Yeah.
So she gives her this thing, and she's like, she studies it, she reads it, she shows up the next day, and she's made him his favorite cakes, and has done this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, fuck this guy. Like, he's been out but a knobhead to you for like a week now.
Yeah. Get right in the bin. I'm like, I'm just getting, this is just a job now.
I'm getting my 6 weeks pay and then I'm selling my story. And I'll just make up a load of shit. Like, yeah. But he's like, oh, thanks. This is really great. They drive about in her car, which is knackered, but they both like this old cars.
This like the specific old car.
Such a tenure.
The script needed something for them to connect to at the end of the first act.
Yeah. But the car's knackered and doesn't start, and he fixes it. And she's like, wow, I never thought of taking it to a garage because I'm a fucking idiot.
It was such a small problem as well. It could be fixed by a footballer on a car park, an injured footballer.
Yeah, on a crutch. Yeah.
Almost as if he'd unplugged the spark plug himself. Wink, wink.
I reckon Gina did it.
I reckon Patty did it. She's meddling and everything. Yeah. So, also, it's Danny's mum and dad's 35th wedding anniversary, which she has to sort out.
Yeah, that I didn't get.
Yeah, that was weird.
He'd volunteered to do it. He'd volunteered to put on this party. And so because he does nothing himself, it's a case of, and now the personal assistant will do it.
That's not how it works.
I'd have told him to get in the fucking sea, mate.
Not in my job description.
Exactly.
Well, is it?
I'll pass you your shirt and I'll make you some cookies on a good day, but that's it. I'm not organising an elaborate anniversary party.
Well, she's like, I know how to do that because I'm a girl in parties. She goes to visit Patty and her sports fan 72 and learns about football by sitting there and watching it. That's how it works, isn't it? By osmosis. Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What was that
Surely that's just a faceplate. They both randomly shout faceplate at one point, which I'm presuming was just the front of the helmet guard. That's all I could gather.
Say the words faceplate.
They both he shouted faceplate at the screen and she went, oh, faceplate. And I was like,
maybe someone in the crowd had a plate with a face drawn on it.
That's commemorative.
Yeah.
That's what we do at half time.
Princess Diana and some kittens on it. Yeah.
Maybe they want to say face mask because that's face mask is generally it's a foul in American football if someone grabs the face the
grab it. Yeah.
That's a face mask. It's foul.
Certainly wasn't.
So unless they weren't allowed to say face mask.
Yeah, unless that's trademarked by the NFL as well.
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't think about that.
So they're getting on like house on fire. She makes her own knockoff football jerseys. She's
ladies. She's making bootleg jerseys to sell for $5 outside the stadium.
Literally $5, 10 quid your long sleeve. And Danny's okay with that. It doesn't grass her up because I would have done. I'd be like, "Have you seen this?" And everyone else on the team's like, "Oh, can you make one for my wife / sister, girlfriend, mother, whatever," including playing Ron, who
should be the lead of this film because he actually has some sort of charisma and connection with our leading lady.
Yeah, but we're led to believe that he is interested in Laurel because he's hanging about all the time, keeps asking her questions.
I think he is for about 5 minutes when he first sees her, and then there's a scene where she first meets the sister and she's going over the players to meet, and sister goes, "Oh, Ron, I haven't seen him in a long time." Winks to camera.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, right, her and Ron have been doing it." Yeah. And this is a thing. It turns out that Ron and his sister, she's called like Ava or something.
Yeah, I think it was that.
I mean, the naming conventions in this film might as well be Gertrude.
Have been seeing each other some time, and Ron keeps trying to ask Danny if he's okay with it, but for some reason Danny's got it into his head that he's into Laurel.
Danny now likes Laurel.
Yeah, but instead of just saying, "Who are you talking about?" Are you talking about my sister? Are you doing a budge on me? But no, he just like poo-poos it. They're all playing cards, and like she's there, she makes them all guacamole or some shit like that. I don't know. But it turns out that Danny has the.
Do personal assistants have a set amount of time they work through the day?
I'm assuming you get paid hourly.
Yeah, I would imagine it's
because she's on call, isn't she? Because
I would imagine that as soon as the employer says you're done, it's like I'm sure it's organised well in advance. You can't go every night going, "And tonight you're on till 10."
Yeah, because that's no way to live your life.
It's like Tuesday I've got a card game, so I need till 10. But on Thursday I've got a date, so you can clock off 2.
Right, okay, that's fair enough. I didn't know if there was.
Well, this is the thing. Danny and Hunter go on a date, and Laurel's like, "Oh, I'll go around your house and put some candles and stuff out so it doesn't smell like boys," which is nice of her because I don't think that's in your job requirements either. That's just like a nice thing to do.
That was a little footnote in the book.
What?
I do candles.
But they come back early. She hides in the toilet. The dog fucks about. Turns out Hunter's an absolute arsehole of a person, Kel Surprise, and hates the dog. The dog, and he's like, "Well, it's not your fault. Like, thank you for this. You did a lot of work. You did research on it. We came back early. It's not your fault." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then you can tell they're getting into it here. But then later on, when Patty is getting married to sports fan in a tuxedo, it would have been better if he'd have had cargo shorts on, a tuxedo top and cargo shorts.
His tux needed to be in team colours.
Well, he wanted the cake to be a football.
Yeah, he needed to be wearing the unspecified miners team tuxedo.
What, blue?
Yeah.
She gets a phone call from him because Danny and Ava have had a fight. Ava's called Danny a selfish prick, and he's like, which he is, to be fair, because he's been ghosting his mum and stuff. And it's like, so he's like, he picks up the big red phone and the broken foot symbol goes out into the night sky, and she's like, arrives there, and he's like, "Are you okay?" Because at this point he's already fallen off his exercise bike. Yeah. And he's like, "Am I a prick?" And she goes,
"Yeah.
Well, I was at a wedding and now I'm here, so yeah, you are a prick."
Not just any wedding; it's a best friend's wedding.
Yeah. Which she'd given advance notice about.
Yeah, but even her friend was like, "I'm giving her a chance at what we have," and I'm like, "Have you met Danny? He's a prick."
Unfulfilled relationship with somebody who's overly obsessed sports.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So she's like, "Yeah, you are a prick, and I'm not going to forgive you for this." And then he goes, "You know what?" Sticks the fucking tongue in her, and I was like, "Mate, so not only as your dog assaulted her, your mate Sean came round and lifted her up, which is not right, and now you sexually assaulted her."
She's just logging it all. It's all being recorded for a future suit.
It's okay though because she then kisses him back, so it's mutual,
consensual.
Stockholm syndrome, innit?
Stock syndrome.
Is that in Holland? No. And then she leaves, and the next day they're like, "Let's never speak of that again," even though they're clearly digging each other.
Yeah. But then we get another 20 minutes of Ron confusion.
Yeah, there's another card game, and Danny's pissed off.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anyone to talk about it.
Yeah. He's like, "Are we playing cards or are we being women?" And I'm like, "Why do you hate women so much?" But yes, so he's like, and then the next day, Laurel shows up for work. He's cut her a check on the table, and he's like, "Yeah, my 6 weeks are up. I can go back playing now. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to get a dude in."
Not how agency work works, by the way. You don't need to give severance to somebody who's on agency. It's just get back to the agency. We'll have somebody else. Thank you.
Is it an agency, or are they just agents that?
Or is he just is he just Pretty Woman in her? Is he just?
I think it's just to get rid of her. Yeah.
Is it? I assume the agency part of it was that she's not contracted to them. They're middlemen essentially for
I mean, we're giving this more thought than they ever did.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sorry.
This would imply that the 65-year-old man who wrote this actually knew how agencies work.
Yeah.
Hello, sports. He gives it and he says, "Look, you're 6 weeks are up. It hasn't worked out. I'm going to go back to hiring dudes so we can like have willy fights in the shower and whatnot." I don't know what he gets.
Just because he's still on the assumption that she's dating
Ron, yes. Yeah. And he can't have that because he loves her, but he can't be around her if she's with someone else. And instead of just asking, "How are you and Ron getting on?" she'd have gone, "What are you fucking on about, mate? I'm not hanging out with Ron."
This is a variation on Let Me Explain.
It is, but it's a different one. And one we've not had before.
It's an interesting turn. It's what sort of kept the interest peak final half hour. It's like, at least we're not getting a proper ass or anything like that.
I mean,
he was an asshole
all the way through it. So.
No ex-boyfriend either. No ex-boyfriend.
No.
Oh, that's true.
So she's like, "All right, well, fuck you then, pal. I'm off. Peace." Kicks the dog on the way out. She doesn't. That would be mean. And he's back in the all-you-can-eat buffet bar. Yeah. Talking to Patty, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I thought he was into me, but turns out no." And I sent the check back because it didn't seem right to take the money off him. But I've got. She sent the check back.
Yeah,
no. Why would you do that?
Because if she accepts that check, then that's a form of compensation. She can now sue and get a much larger payment.
That's very true. Yeah.
For the dog attack, manhandling, and sexual assault. Yeah. We're not making light of sexual assault.
No.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is. Yeah. Oh, so I'll have a cuddle later. Ooh. Tops on. And she's like, "But I've got a great idea. I'm going to sell these hooky t-shirts that I've been making." And I'm like, "In no way are you selling those."
If it was NFL, they would come down so fast on her.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a thing where you weren't even allowed to tape NFL at one point?
You still can't.
No, but like on a VCR or whatever, like back in the day, like you weren't allowed to tape football.
Yeah, the American sports are very, very like uber strict with
massive industry, isn't it? Yeah.
And I can't say for certain, but I wish she was the same for merchandise as well.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, you definitely can't be going. I've made these miners shirts, but the Milner's shirts.
What I've done is
very faint.
I've taken a small boy's shirt. I've put some shoelaces on the neck,
and I've put some darts
to lasses. Yeah.
But it turns out that this has paid off, and she's got this big contract with Major League Football.
Major League Football, yeah.
Yeah.
The MLS.
If it was Major International League Football, because then I'd at least spell out Mill. And she's like, I don't need the money anyway because I've got this big thing on because I've chased my dreams. I was like, you wanted to be a Victoria? Is it Victoria Wang?
She wanted to be a fashion designer, not knocking off sports memorabilia.
Cheap sports gear for women. Yeah. Let's face it, probably don't care.
Again, why would this Major League Football
not just go? Yeah, we could just do that ourselves. We have in-house people.
They normally have currently the NFL have Nike as their main shirt suppliers and things like that.
Don't worry about it.
This isn't the NFL.
Why would they go with? Here's some random woman who's done art and design once.
It's not got the red tape of the NFL in the MLS.
Sorry.
There are much more like collective.
A personal assistant can walk into the owner's office and say, "Look at me top. I want to sell these," and he goes, "A-okay."
Yeah. I reckon this is just some random local league.
Well, it's a Sunday league. You're at that bar.
It's a Sunday league. Yeah. Somehow it's on TV because some bloke has got a camera. He's like, "I'll film this."
Anyway, she goes to the bar and it turns out, and then we cut to it's the Danny's parents' party.
Yeah, the anniversary
party. Ava comes over and says, "Look, I'm sorry. I was a bit of a dick, but you've also been a dick." And they're like, "Yeah." And then she goes, "You haven't danced with me yet." And I was like, "That's weird."
Yeah. It's like, because you're my sister.
Yeah.
Dance with anybody else in the room, please.
I'll do Agadoo or like the cha-cha slide with my sister, but I ain't.
But get everyone else involved as well.
But I'm not going to be just like ballroom dancing with them. Not in a sexy way. It's just weird, isn't it?
They were very close. Their faces were incredibly close together for siblings.
Yeah, wasps. Ron comes in and he's like, "Oh, can I cut in?" And at no point does Danny go, "That's a strange thing for a man to say." So he goes, "Yeah, all right, whatever." Walks off, sees him kissing.
He doesn't even question why Ron's there.
Ron's on the guest list.
Yeah, but why would he be?
Because he's allowed to bring 4 of his mates. It's like when you go on holiday or pizza up for your birthday. You bring
he gets a certain number of mates so he can hang out on the table and doesn't have to hang out with his mum and dad's mates all night.
They can talk about football and cars. Curse? It is a difficult word to say. Yeah, Ron kisses her, and he's like, what are you doing? What about Laurel? And he went, what about Laurel, you mad bastard?
Who?
And he's like, I've made a big mistake.
Oh dear, the last half hour of the film was pointless.
For some reason, he's got Patty's phone number.
Yeah, why he's not got Laurel's phone number is...
Well, she gave the phone back, didn't she?
Yeah, but she's got an actual number. She has a phone.
Yeah. How's he got Patty's phone number?
Got her actual number.
Yeah, but for some reason, he phones up Patty, and Patty's like, I need to know where she is. I need to say something to her. And Patty's like, okay, but you have to come and watch football with my husband and do all this shit. And I'd be like,
go to his dental surgery, and I'm like, this is not how this works.
No. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He shows up, and he's like, I love you, always have. And then it ends.
Literally kissing credits.
Yeah. Oh, someone wins the...
He wins the big game for the local team. He rudies it all up.
It's not live then.
I told you, George, it's Sunday League. They're just rewatching.
Yeah.
Because he says, he's just thrown... Danny's just thrown the winning touchdown or whatever.
He's catfished her. This isn't actually Danny Holland. It's...
mate.
somebody with the same name.
Danny Poland.
Just asking for a personal assistant.
Yeah. Yeah, and kissing credits. And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, that was all right.
That's fine.
Go on then. If it's all right, what are you giving it?
I'm going to give it 5.5.
Ooh, 5.5. Craig?
Well done. 6.2 for me.
6.2. I just went for a 5.1. It was just, fine.
It was a fine watch. At no point did I feel like I have to turn this off.
Again, the early bits where it was like fumbles in the end zone, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But I came round to it in the end. Would you like to do my fun quiz now?
Quiz.
Yes. I mean, you might have an advantage here, Anthony, because you follow American football.
Okay.
But I have a list of names. Some of them are real American football players through history, some are recent, and some are made up. All right. So I want touchdown or hoedown. I don't know.
Touchdown or fumble.
There we go. Yeah. Right. Cloudsley Shovel.
Fumble?
I'm going to say fumble.
That is fake. He was like he was a British aristocrat or something. Guy Whimper.
Touchdown?
I'm going fumble.
He's a real one. Played 2006 to 2013 for many teams because they all move about quite a lot, don't they? Hitler Mussolini.
No.
Fumble?
Fumble.
Yeah, clearly. Barcavius Mingo.
Want the touchdown?
It is touchdown.
It is. He still plays.
What a name.
Barcavius, yeah. My personal favourite, Pierre Garçon.
Touchdown.
It is touchdown. He's a wide receiver.
Yeah. Lord Brain.
Fumble.
Rocky Boyman.
Fumble.
Nope, real. 2009 to 2002 to 2009.
All right.
It's spelled B-O-I, man, but it's pronounced Boyman.
Yeah.
Max Strong.
Touchdown.
That sounds like it could be a real name, so yeah, touchdown.
It is, yes. Wondermond.
Fumble?
I don't know why Joe would have made this up. I'm going touchdown.
It is. He played one season in 1978, apparently. Yep. Christian Guy.
Touchdown?
Yeah, it sounds like a real name, so yeah.
It is a real name. He's not an American football player, though.
Oh, right.
He's a politician, I think. Bakari Rambo.
Touchdown?
I think that might be touchdown.
It is a touchdown. 2013, 2016. And finally, Happy Fella.
Fumble.
No, fumble.
A genuine, again, real dude. Played 1971 and 1973.
I think that was a tie all around, I think, that.
You did better than I thought, to be honest. But Anthony has an advantage there. That was a fun game of guess the real made-up name.
Lovely bit of silliness.
I found a list of 50 of them and was like, I could just do all these.
Yeah. My favourite at the minute, I think, is Ha Ha Clinton Dix.
He's too recent though, but
He's
just called Ha Ha.
His first name's Ha Ha. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a given name that he's given himself kind of thing, but Ha Ha Clinton Dix. Or you could have had, there was a player called Chad Johnson who his number was always 85, so he legally changed his name to Chad Ochocinco.
Jeez, wept.
I know.
Like Herbie the car.
Right.
It's that time.
Yeah. Yeah, keeping the short on this week because unfortunately, after trawling all of my Christian review websites, this film was reviewed by none of them, unfortunately. So we're just going to go with the wonderful other stuff that the cast have been in. So starring as Laurel, we had Emily Kinney, who had a long run on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I knew I recognised her from somewhere.
Non-union Judy Greer.
Yeah. She was in it for a long time before she got eaten up.
I stopped watching after season 2 because it was boring.
Yeah, it's boring. She's also in something called Hot for Teacher. Wink.
Wait, is the wink actually part
of it? I've added the wink.
It's an emoji.
Yeah.
It's like one of them hologram cases.
And also in something called Princess Rap Battle, which seems to be just another one of these knockoff YouTube channels where we dress up in fancy dress.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, no.
I'm good, thanks. I can live without this one. John Reardon starred as Danny, who has some actual film credits. He starred in White Chicks.
Yep.
He was in Scary Movie 4.
Was anyone still watching it for?
Exactly. And he was also in Tron Legacy.
Really?
Yes.
As who?
He played young. I think he played the son. I think he played the younger version.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But also stood in as a body double for Thingy. Jeff Bridges when he was talking
doing
to
his
himself.
weird face. Yeah.
So
he's also in. I think it's. What's it called? It's the one we're doing on Last Orders. Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds tight, doesn't it?
That sounds great fun. Finally, starring as Ron, the true star of this film, the main lead of this film.
Why don't you just marry Ron?
With a name like this, Victor Sink Jr.
That's an American football playing name.
Yeah. Not quite the credits that Danny had. Star of Zombie Punch.
That's definitely a film that Joe's going to be watching.
I'm going to find that now, yes.
Grave Encounters 2, which appears to be a Paranormal Activity knockoff.
I haven't seen Grave Encounters, but I understand what's going on.
Nah, you'd be lost, mate. And also in Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings.
Oh, is that the one with Henry Rollins in?
It might be,
I think I've seen that one, yeah.
Wrong Turn 4?
Yeah, they made 4 of these after...
How many wrong turns can you make?
Well, I only thought...
Well, eventually,
1.
4 wrong turns. You're back where you started.
It's full circle, isn't it?
Unless it's the left-right game.
This was directed by a gentleman called Terry Ingram, who's all over the place with his stuff. So we'll start with, he directed Stolen from the Womb, which sounds like a real laugh riot.
Yeah, sounds like one of those Who Will Look After My Children Lifetime films, that, yeah.
Yep, he was assistant director on Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle / Get the Munchies, wherever you're from.
Yep, it's all right, that film, actually.
Yep, and for the second episode in a run, he was also the director of My Boyfriend's Dog.
Yes, boy! No, we've not watched it, but it is a Hallmark film. My Boyfriend's Dog. We don't know whether the boyfriend is a dog or it's a lot of dogs in a boyfriend costume. He's also Major Charles Ingram's brother, the millionaire who wants to be a millionaire cheat.
Really?
No.
Really?
I was going to say, I'll be honest with you, when I saw the name, I was like, this is sort of thing that you see as like executive producer at the end of a sitcom on BBC.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
So,
we're gonna have to do My Boyfriend's Dog now.
Yeah, it's got to be done, hasn't it? But unfortunately, since I couldn't find much else on this film this week, thus ends Craig Facts for another week.
Whoop, whoop.
Overwhelmingly positive for this film. I had to scrabble about to find some bad reviews for it. 4 out of 10. Bland and not well acted by JML 1988-22. JML, don't they do like the weird copperstone pans and stuff?
That's the stuff you find at the end of the aisles at Tesco's, like magic carpet eraser.
Yeah, here's JML. I didn't feel the chemistry between any of the characters, either romantic or even their friendships. Parts of the plot didn't make any sense, and the male protagonist was entirely unlikable and self-absorbed. I think he got hung up on the check thing as well. But, and we will see, a 9 out of 10. This one is called 3.5 stars. So I don't know why it's got 9 out of 10. I'm giving it 3.5.
Making his own ranking system.
Ask Edward Green 25. The usual Hallmark fanfare, but it's nicely done. When a star football player is injured, he fires his assistant, and as no one else is available, the agency send a female.
The
guy really... It's so much worse when it's like, it's a female.
It's Friday night dinners. The guy really shows his sexist talents by not really wanting her and becoming very standoffish. Invariably, though, love shall bloom for the two of them. What a strange way of saying that. The idea that he thought she was involved with his fellow teammate instead of the fact that the latter had become involved with his own sister, a la Budge, was somewhat difficult to fathom. No, it wasn't. But I guess that was needed to further the plot along. Yes. This chauvinistic guy comes down to reality and realizes that she is the girl for him, not the model who kept throwing herself at him. The assistant shows the typical female side regarding her ignorance of football. Female. Also, when Hunter comes back from Italy, she literally dives into his arms, knowing full well that he's got a bad leg. So think on. And finally, 2 out of 10, a blend of conservative stereotypes by Zettelhead 18. This movie is mainly what's that word? I don't think that's what he. I think he meant to put amalgamation, but he's written agglomeration, which might be a word. I don't think it is. Of conservative white American cliches. There are about 3 funny scenes in it. That many. The rest just follows the same rom-com chick flick stereotype you have seen 1,000 times before. No more. 1,000 only.
I guarantee you he's not seen 1,000 of them. We're getting there.
The stubborn male lead is just concerned about his male issues, while the insecure female lead makes an effort to satisfy him and to fulfill the duties of her new job. And there are for sure the loving family and friends who know that both are in love before they know it themselves. And the white male lead explains to one of his Afro-American teammates how to wear a suit properly. We do it like this. Probably they cut the N-word out. Mate!
Whoa!
I'm sorry. That ramped up. I didn't read this far down.
No.
Finally, the father says, yeah, that's my son. Everyone is happy. Everybody is successful and gets rich. Everybody is a wasp. Afterwards, I had to open the window to get in some fresh air. I gave it in 2 instead of a 1 because the female lead, female, whose acting is good, much like what my grammar is typing this. I don't remember that bit with the suit.
No, I don't. I think he saw a different film.
I genuinely don't remember.
No.
I don't remember it at all.
Madness. Stinky madness. But yes.
Did he write his own part?
He's just clearly got a vendetta, hasn't he? Against suits.
Just doesn't want anyone to watch this, so I'll make up a racist scene to throw in there.
It didn't make a racist scene. He says they cut out that part.
The bit where they went to an American football game and they were all wearing Klan hoods, I thought was a bit unnecessary. Jesus.
I crept up on us, that one.
I'm going to have to start reading these all the way through, rather than just the first line. But yes, that is reviews. But for the first time in a long time, we have a podcast of the podcast of greatness.
Podcast of greatness, yeah.
Long, yeah. So. This week's podcast of greatness is That F King Show.
Podcast is conducting a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test.
The end of the world as you know it is upon us. You, however, have won yourself a one-way ticket out of here. Hop aboard your very own personal space cruiser with completely personalisable AI interface.
Mark Wahlberg, but it has to be the Marky Mark version.
Horror legend Elvira.
Matt Berry. Gotta be Matt
Early 90s Cindy Crawford, but I'm probably going to have the voice of maybe Peter Kay.
And don't forget, you also get to take 6 things with you. That's 6 of anything in the entire world.
Okay, so I'm going to take chips.
My Jurassic Park pajamas.
Yeah, all of the books, all of the porn.
The Blues Brothers in some form of media.
A Game Boy with Tetris.
See, I'm asking about the mystical creature because I was going to take a Pegasus.
I've got to take a lifetime supply of baklava.
Dry potatoes and soggy meats.
So strap in, strap on, pack your bags, and let That F-King Show take you on an Armageddon vacation.
To see all That F-King Show information and social media links, go to TotalCultZone.com.
In conclusion, this was Love on the Sidelines. As always, if you'd like to keep up to date with anything Hallmark of Greatness, Twitter at Hallmark of Great, Instagram at Hallmark of Greatness, email the show at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com, find us on Facebook. Joe's got a Twitch channel that had a special appearance from Craig.
Hello.
Anything else to add to this?
Don't fumble that touchdown at the big game, otherwise you'll be a Madden.
Oh, big old links there that didn't quite work.
Pop the fly ball for the home run, Daddy-O. I don't know. Score the good goal.
Baseball, excellent.
It's all shite, mate. All sports rubbish, apart from like curling.
And curling is awesome, but so are the rest of the sports.
No.
I've watched a lot of curling.
What's that one called where they twat about on a horse? Dressage. That can fuck off.
It's cruelty.
Sport.
Technically it is.
The horse does the dancing.
Yeah, you're not doing
nothing.
You're essentially ballast at that point. Better if it was on robots, like Robot Wars. That would be. Make that an Olympic sport.
See you next time.
Bye-bye. I'm going to get up and I'm going to punch you in the throat.